Hello, welcome to another video where today I'm talking about the multiverse. At last, surprisingly, I never did a talk topic or, our podcast, previously on the multiverse. Despite I've talked about the multiverse a bunch, I've never done a dedicated episode. It's kind of crazy. I'm finally covering the multiverse, although I've talked about the multiverse a lot before. And yeah, but here we are. So today, talk about the multiverse. I guess, start off again basics. What is the multiverse? Well, it's, the theory that there are multiple universes, a multiverse. Sometimes, there's been different variants of the multiverse, like the metaverse, and it ain't just, Facebook's thing. Like, the metaverse is technically its own thing, but it's pretty similar. It's basically metaverse versus multiverse. I always get searching metaverse. I bet I'm only gonna get the other thing. Yeah, virtual reality space in which users can interact with computer-generated environment and our users. So it's not just for Facebook. Technically, VR chat could be a metaverse, and so forth. It isn't just locked down to one, despite how much Facebook would try and sell you on that. Words have meaning beyond one thing. Yeah, again, a good example is how gay meant happy in the past, but now it means, homosexual. Like, meanings of words can change through time, so yeah. And one thing isn't necessarily what defines the word. But anyway, I'm getting off on a little bit of a rant tangent. So yeah, either way, the multiverse is basically infinite possibilities, endless possibilities, different, things, endless worlds. Literally is, basically another form of the many worlds, theory. Basically, functions the same. The many worlds theory goes that, there's more than just us. There's potentially, other, timelines, other dimensions where there are many other worlds. And I like to, believe there is, a multiverse, many worlds. It means, like for, things I create, like Michael, it feels real, in a sense, even if it never can reach the plane that we call reality, as it seems like from our perspective, it's just fiction. The multiverse is fiction, but who's to say, it isn't out there? like scientists, can't disprove, God's existence. They might not be able to prove it, but they can, you know, you know, disprove it, as well. Like they can equally not prove or disprove the thing because there isn't enough, facts. So, multiverse falls in the same category of it might exist, it might not. So, when it comes to, conundrums of science, it only comes down to the perception of the individual. And in my perception, the multiverse is real. Meaning Michael is real, and he could be a good friend if I could actually reach him more than just a character version of myself. Because that isn't really the true me, not all aspects of me. Not that any one person will naturally see, all of you, because, yeah, and people can have many faces, but either way, yeah, uh, um, mind blanking, multiverse is, filled with endless possibilities, and I like to think it's real. Like, yeah, and there's so many different possibilities, like, to list them would, take forever. But let's just throw out, a few random examples of, what a different universe in the multiverse would be. So, one world could be a world with no food at all. Food doesn't exist. Maybe hunger doesn't exist as well. But who knows? There could be a world where it's just cats. Lots of cats everywhere. There could be a world where, the very essence of being is constantly breaking, reshaping, reforming, rebuilding, and, breaking again in a weird infinite cycle where the laws of reality are no longer subject. And either way, different multiverses, would have, different rules of science, different rules that dictate, their worlds. Not all multiverses will be in the third dimension. Some will be in the second, some will be in the fourth. Who knows how many layers there are to dimensions, and who knows how many layers there are to the multiverse itself. As it's theorized, multiverse, works in stacks, where a stack above, all the fiction we create, and all the fiction within that fiction is, another stack below, and so on and so forth. And that you have no idea which is the true layer of the multiverse, if there even is one, or if it just goes infinitely and it's always expanding forth. Or maybe it could be contracting and we don't know it and everything's collapsing. So, who knows? We'll never potentially know the answers to some questions. We only can theorize. But yeah, the multiverse is endlessly fascinating. And there's so many different possibilities. I guess, multiverse is the reason why I've continued, my series, because endless possibilities does, well, leave things open for many things to happen. And that can be quite interesting. Although restrictions also can be good for a creative process. Just, no restrictions also is, fun. But yeah. Either way, I guess I've babbled enough about the multiverse. There's endless things to the multiverse. I could, talk about the multiverse, probably forever. And that would be literally true if I had an infinite life. If. Unfortunately, I do not. Maybe, Michael can help me with that. I just have to hope. If I die, I gotta lay it down. Lay it through the stacks. But yeah. I asked now Michael's death god. He can quite literally, see when my soul's departing, so yeah. He can definitely keep his promise. Hopefully. As long as the barrier's not too strong. But yeah. Multiverse is definitely interesting. But I think I'll do it for this talk topic, so thank you all for watching this video, and peace until, in the next one, thank you.